A set of instructions is what I will call it as a software. So I will be interacting with the system in a different language, but the system will not understand my language. So I need somebody to translate whatever I am discussing. So that's what I will call it as a language preprocessor. Assembler converts the program which is in the assembly level language to machine level language. To perform my computer activities or to carry out my computer activities smoothly, I have some set of softwares that I will call it as a utility softwares. Hello everyone, I welcome all of you to the third session on computer system overviews. So I think all of you would have gone back and checked the previous videos what we have done on the same chapter. Suppose if not, please go back and check what we have done. So guys, before watching this video, I request all of you, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel once you are done with this video. If you find it simple and easy to understand the topic, please don't forget to click on the like button. Alright, before I start the session, I'll give you a small recap on what I have done in my previous sessions. So what is that we have done? We discussed a lot of things about the computer building blocks. So I call that as a input unit, output unit, and also we have memory unit and arithmetic logic unit. We should not forget the main thing, that is control unit, which controls and coordinates all the activities of computer. So this is what it should come to your mind if I speak about the building blocks or major components of computer. Along with that, I also discussed different types of memories that we have. Including that, we also discussed in detail about what is hard disk, what is Blu-ray disk, and also I spoke about CD-ROM, different types of CD-ROMs, and also different types of DVDs. By discussing all these things, I started discussing about the mobile system. So what we have, so how do we organize the camera unit, how do we handle the power unit, how do we handle the display unit, and how exactly the virtual board it is controlling and coordinating all the activities which comes in the mobile organization or which comes in the mobile system is what I would like to tell all of you. So this is what we have discussed in the previous sessions. So guys, I have come up with new topics today for all of you. So I will be discussing the types of softwares, and also I will discuss about the application software and software libraries. So this is what I will be discussing in this session for all of you. So guys, the first thing that you need to understand, so types of softwares in the sense, what should come to your mind. So guys, let me start that first. When I say types of software, the first thing it should come to your mind that, so system software and application software. So before I get into the topic, one more correlated word for the software. Whenever I discuss software hand in hand, one more word will come parallelly. So that's hardware. So I think we have discussed the definition of hardware in the previous session. Let me recollect it. So any physical component which you can touch and feel, that's what we call it as a hardware. I repeat, any physical component which you can touch and feel is what I will call it as a hardware. But when it comes to the software, so the hardware will not be knowing how exactly the hardware should behave. So for that, I will be writing a set of instructions so that the hardware can perform its activity. So that is what I will call it as a software. So is that the definition for software? No. I repeat, that is one of the special category of software. Then what is the definition for software? You can make it very simple. A set of instructions is what I will call it as a software. I repeat for all of you, set of instructions is what I will call it as a software. Alright, so I'm going to discuss the different types of software that we have in today's session. So in that, the first one that I have is system software. What is the first one that we have? System software. As I quoted the definition in the beginning, the system software is nothing but a set of instructions that I have given for the hardware to perform its task. So that's what I will call it as a system software. And the next one that I have is application software. This kind of softwares which is mainly designed to perform a specific task. So that's what I will call it as a application software. What exactly system software is all about? What exactly application software is all about? Yes, probably you would have used the operating system. All of you would have used the operating system. You all know what is Windows and what is Linux and what is iOS operating system. All those things, this is what we call it as a different types of operating systems. These operating systems will comes to the category of system software. When I have the VLC player, probably all of you are using it day by day. Now every day you are using it. So we have VLC player, you have and a lot of other application softwares like PDF, Adobe PDF Reader. So all those things are the application software which is designed to serve one particular task. I have different types of system softwares and I have different types of application softwares. So let me discuss that in detail. When it comes to the system software, what exactly that I should know? So when it comes to the system software, you should never forget about two things. The first one is all about the operating system and the second one is all about the language processor. I repeat, whenever it comes to the concept of system software, we have two types of system software. The first one that we should never forget about is operating system and the second one that we have is language processor. What exactly operating system is all about? If at all I have a system, so everything is managed by one particular software. It can be memory management, it can be process management, it can be device management. So everything is controlled and coordinated and executed with the help of the software, that is operating system. In the same way, I have one more software called language preprocessor. What exactly language preprocessor is all about? So let's understand this language preprocessor in detail. So I will be interacting with the system in a different language, but the system will not understand my language. So I need somebody to translate whatever I am discussing. So that's what I will call it as a language preprocessor. So I have different types of language preprocessor which I will be discussing in detail. What exactly operating system is all about? Let's understand this before I go to the language preprocessor. Mainly operating system is controlling and coordinating, or it's fighting with a lot of important things that I will call it as a components of computer system. What exactly I will call it as a components of computer system? So I have listed out some of the components of computer system. So please observe. The first one that I have is hardware. And the second one is operating system. Third one is application program routines. And the fourth one is humanware, that is users. So with all these things, operating system is coordinating and managing all the tasks. So this is what you need to understand when it comes to the concept of operating system. Let me tell you something interesting, what exactly operating system is doing. If I want to do a task, if I want to perform a task, how will I be able to perform a task in the system? So for that task, I have to assign one process. Process will be executing my task. So for that task, to execute that task, for that process to execute that task, I have to allocate the memory. I have to allocate the memory. Then only the process will be able to execute the task. Fine, I have allocated the memory. To complete the execution of that task from that process, I need to allocate some resource. It can be a printer, it can be a monitor, it can be any other resource. Then who will allocate that? Again, the operating system is responsible to allocate the resource. So now I need to check what is the availability in my system, because imagine a lot of processes are executing my task. So what is the remaining process that I have? What is the remaining resource that I have? So who will maintain the statistics of memory, of process, of resource? Everything is managed by operating system. If I want to assign any device, even that is taken care from the operating system. Everything, each and everything, I would like to code. I repeat, I would like to quote, CPU is not the brain of the computer. In fact, operating system is the brain of the computer. If you understand the complete functionality of operating system, I feel, so I should say that operating system is the brain of the computer, because each and everything is controlled and coordinated and executed by operating system. So this is what you need to remember when it comes to the concept of operating system. All right, the next thing that I should remember is all about language processor. If I say language processor, I should understand two things before I go to the language processor. The first one is source code and the second one is object code. I repeat, before I discuss the concept of language processor, I should remember two things. One is source code, another one is object code. If I type the program, so that is whatever I have typed, so that is what I will call it as a program. So before I execute that program, so whatever the code that I have written, so that's what I will call it as a source code. That's what I will call it as a source code. That code generally it will be in a high level language. Whatever I have typed, generally it will be in the high level language. But when I execute that code, so that high level language will get converted into machine level language. So the machine level language code, what I have, that is what I will call it as a object code. That is what I will call it as a object code. The code in which the machine will be able to understand. That's what I will call it as the object code. So I have the source code. I need to convert that source code into object code, because the computer will not understand the high level language in which you have written. That's very important. So please remember this topic before I moving on to the next slide. All right, you all understood what is source code and what is object code. Let's go to the next one. So I have three different types. I have three different types of language processor. The first one that I have is assembler. What is the first one that I have? Assembler. What is the role of assembler? Why should we use this assembler? Assembler converts the program which is in the assembly level language to machine level language. What did I say? Assembler is converting my program which is in assembly level language to machine level language. You will get a question now, sir, what is this assembly level language? Come on, can you explain that in detail? Assembly level language is a type of language we use mnemonics to write the program. Mnemonics in the sense what? You will use the commands to write or to execute your program. For example, copy, move, okay, load, all those things you will be using. This is the commands that you will use in your program. So this is what I will call it as a mnemonics. But I will not write my Python program with the load, move. I don't use that. So fine, I understood about assembler. What is this interpreter? If you have written the program, your program will be executed line by line. Only one line will be executed at a time. So that is done with the help of interpreter. What did I say? Interpreter in the sense, interpreter is able to execute only one line at a time. Only one line at a time. That is what I will call it as a interpreter. What is then compiler? Compiler is very robust. One go, the complete program will be executed. But when it comes to interpreter, it is not like that. Only one line at a time it will execute. So this is what I will call it as a language preprocessor. Sir, you did not explain. So you said only it will execute. What it will execute? You did not say that. This interpreter will convert my source code into object code line by line. The same way compiler will convert the source code into object code in one go. Everything, complete program. That's what you need to remember. So this is what you should remember when it comes to the concept of language preprocessor. And what is the next thing that I have? I have application softwares. What exactly application software is all about? So guys, to serve a particular purpose, we have a set of softwares So that is what I will call it as application software. Of course, all of you are not kids to know this definition, but still. We have different types of application software. When it comes to the concept of application softwares, we have different types of application softwares. Let me discuss that one by one. The first one that I have is packages. The first one that I have is packages. The second one that I have is utilities. The third one that I have is customized software. And the fourth one is developer's tool. What exactly packages is all about? So let me discuss that in detail. When it comes to the concept of package, one thing it should come to your mind: the complete part, the complete tools to perform the task you have in a package. For example, you have Microsoft Office. You have a complete package there. You have PowerPoint, you have Word, you have Excel, everything. It is included in one package, is what I would like to tell all of you whenever I am speaking about the concept of package. If I say about package, everything is included in one bundle. All the related softwares are grouped together. All the similar softwares are grouped together. That is what I will call it as a package. So applications may be numerous. Applications may be numerous, more than one. It is not feasible to design a software for each of them. Rather, some general softwares are designed that may be used to individual user, the manner it suits their needs and requirement. Such general application softwares are known as package, is what they are defining. In short, to redefine the meaning of this definition, or to put it in a simple words, let's understand. So if you want to perform any task, I have some set of softwares which is grouped together, which is of related one to another. So that's what I will call it as a package. In a short example, the Microsoft Office is the best example that I can give you when it comes to the concept of package. What's the next one that I have? I have listed out some of the software for you guys, with respect to the package. Word processing software will stand on top for the example for packages. The second one that I have, database management system, graphics, spreadsheets, desktop publishing software. All these things will comes under the concept, or will comes under the example of packages. That's what you need to remember when it comes to the concept of packages. All right, moving on to the next one, I have utilities. Why do I have utilities? To perform my computer activities, or to carry out my computer activities smoothly, I have some set of softwares that I will call it as a utility softwares. So can you name out some of the utility software? Yes, I have some of the utility softwares like text editors. You have Notepad, all those things I will call it as text editors. I have backup utilities to back up my data periodically. I have compression utilities, disk defragmentation, and I have antivirus software. All these things will help me to perform my computer task smoothly. So this is not a separate software that I have. This is a utility software that I have to perform my function smoothly, to carry out the function of the computer smoothly. This is what you need to remember when it comes to the utility software. What is the next one that I have? I have business software. I need to customize some of the software's requirement according to my need, my business environment. It can be a payroll system, it can be a ticket issuing system, it can be a reservation system. So any of the softwares which is related to the business, so that particular software is customized based on the requirement that I have in my business area. So such softwares, I will call it as a business softwares. The best example that I can give you is all about the payroll softwares. And you have a lot of applications nowadays in your mobile phones. You have Amazon, you have Flipkart. All these things are the business softwares. It is designed and developed according to the need of that particular business. That is what I will call it as a business software. Guys, and then I have the software libraries. Before I speak about the software libraries, I also have one more software, that is developers software. If I want to develop any of the application, I have to use some of the software which will help me to develop the software. It can be NetBeans for Java, it can be Anaconda for Python, so it can be Visual Studio for .NET. So like this, I have different IDEs. Okay, I will be using this software to develop the softwares. So I should not forget that. All right, so I have come to the end of this session. So I will be winding up by discussing the libraries. I have software libraries. What exactly software libraries is all about? I have some set of predefined functions which will help me to reuse it again and again. So it will also help me to build the softwares. So I have some of the set of libraries. So that libraries, like, let me just list out some of them. So I have NumPy, I have Matplotlib, okay, NumPy, Matplotlib, and then I have tkinter. So all these things are the standard libraries. Okay, so this is what I will call it as the libraries. So I have stored some predefined functions in this library. What exactly library is all about? Library is a collection of related modules. Library is a collection of related modules which you can reuse whenever you want in your program. That's the specialty of this libraries. I have grouped the functions which deals with arrays. If I want to write any program which is related to the arrays in Python, I have some of the functions which is related to that, and I have grouped it under NumPy. Suppose if I want to have any graphs, if I want to plot any graphs, so the graph related functions I have grouped and I have stored in Matplot. If I want to design my own interface for my software or for my program, I have defined and I have stored inside the tkhunter library. So like this, I have the library softwares. All right, by saying this, I have come to an end of this simple and easy chapter. So I request all of you to go back and check the videos completely, so which will help you to learn and understand the concept very easily. By saying this, please don't forget to like the button if you have watched it completely. Stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you very much.